Alright, welcome back guys, got another personal replay review. This is in my IS7 on Empire's Border. There isn't really anything special about this replay, it's not some like crazy 10k game. I mean, it's still a high damage game. It's not like, 10k, 17,000 kills or like 15 kills or anything stupid like that. But I feel like the way that I played and how I sort of approached the way this game went pretty much was guaranteed the reason why we won, pretty much. Um, so, IS7, I wouldn't call it really outdated. I'd say, the only thing holding it back is its lackluster DPM, and gun handling can really be bad at times. Um, I mean, the frontal armor profile still holds up to this day. However, if you choose to side scrape, you'll still easily get penned right on the shoulder right here by nearly anything. So it can be really hard to side scrape if somebody has high pen or at least kind of sort of knows what they're doing. So I choose to come down to this corner because I always want to fight down here. I don't really ever like going up on the hill because the hill needs you to have gun depression, which the IS7 does not. And I see this E75 come out. Uh, Maybe I could get a cupola shot or something like that. The STB is kind of just in front of me. And then I get hit by the FV, who hits my turret and splashes me for like 300, which is, FVs. But me knowing that, he's there, is actually good for the future. Because it makes it so that I don't needlessly expose myself to him. And he lets me know where he is, like, extremely early. Which, that tank is really the only thing that I'm scared of. Terra making an interesting play. The FV is the only tank that I'm scared of, because, like, I'm not really going to be scared of a Type 5 or the new Tiger Mouse, because, yeah, the Tiger Mouse can pen me, and E75 is not looking, and I punish him for that. Yeah, the Tiger Mouse can pen me frontally pretty easily, but I don't have reason to be scared of that thing unless he's playing, like, really, really well or in a really good spot. I see this ISU get lit, and he gets absolutely deleted by my team, which was pretty cool to see. He didn't even, have his sixth sense go off, and he was just deleted, which was pretty nice. Anyways, already up to 1.4. It's just a matter of, seeing if this E75 is gonna, side scrape unnecessarily again, but I don't really want to poke because I know where the FV is, and I want to take a blind shot down there anyways, because, that's... If he was gonna sit somewhere and probably hasn't moved, which FV players are really known to do, he'd probably still be there. I see my teammates start to push in, and I'm thinking to myself that the FV is going to be looking at them more than he's going to be looking at me. And yeah, there you go. He just splashed the non-pen the Conqueror for 1,000. And then I see this SU poke me. I'm trying to wiggle a bit so he bounces. Luckily he does. And make an interesting player of intuition to HE. I let my APCR shell fully reload before I switch to HE, rather than canceling the reload entirely and then switching to HE, because it's more intelligent to make that kind of play because it saves time. And I beat his reload too, so, I easily pick up a kill. And I see the Leopard running away, which tells me that he doesn't fully trust that, what is it, the FE's there? Because if the FE was there, he would have most likely been playing on this corner with the FE. That just tells me the FE has fallen back or is doing something, or looking somewhere else at this very moment. And I don't really want to push into an FE and a Leopard because, FEs are scary and he could get a lucky pen, and, that's the game for me. I instead want to punish this Type 5 who is pushing in blindly all by himself, because this game is still relatively close. Yeah, we've won the, the top side, this stuff all over here, but if you can't really push into their cap, it doesn't matter. And unfortunately, their T95 platoon has decided to not leave base, which is very, very cool and dynamic, I guess. So yeah, now it's going to be the fun part of trying to push into their base. Admittedly, I could have gone like in the future. There's really only two ways to push this, which sucks. But FE gets lit. He's not looking this way, which means I can really swing out wide. And, FE deletes the T30. I can really swing out wide and make it so that the FE has to overpoke into my entire team to actually shoot me. And it's a matter of just trying to eliminate, trying to get tanks out of the fight, get guns out of the battle and all that. And this Tiger Mouse, he's relatively alone. I still don't want to poke him and give him damage for free. Because, those two T95s could have the 750 alpha guns, and I need all the HP I can have to survive shots from them. Tiger Mouse fires, and over angles, so I'm able to put a nice easy shot into him. And I'm trying to get out of the way of the STB here, but he's adamant on trying to run into me. Another thing, though, I'm trying to reverse so that I don't accidentally block my team and leave them out in the open and just have them die to the FE because, you know, teammates are still useful because they can take shots. But yeah, that Tiger Mouse is dead because he's been flanked by the Striv and the 268v4, which is good. So we can actually push up and start to challenge the FV. Now, admittedly, when I was approaching, like, this sort of situation, I had no idea really what I wanted to, or how I was going to approach this, because it's like, there's an FE there that's completely safe. In order to actually challenge him, I have to go side on to two T95s and a Leopard in a bush that's having an even 90 spot for them. It's not really a fun time, honestly. It's not a really good time because, you know, a corridor that is, you know, hundreds of meters of open ground that you can't do anything about, and T95 kills a 705A. So I take a blind shot on the bush. Unfortunately, it doesn't go in because, you know, a tank is always going to be sitting at that bush or something. And then I'm trying to think how I'm going to approach this, and I think 705A is pretty heavy, but I can still push his corpse so that it shields me from all the stuff that's in front of me, but still allows me to get shots on the FV. And I know exactly where the Leopard is. And then the G-Sor pushes in front and, you know, takes a huge chunk of HP for it. And I see one of the T95s get lit. And then I think to myself, the G-Sor is a hell of a lot lighter than the, G-Sor's a hell of a lot lighter than a 705. And not many people know this, but you can actually still spot through corpses. While the corpse is still there, the view range will actually go through the corpse. The corpse doesn't really count as, you know, cover for the view range. And the FE fires at my frontal plate, misses, and I'm able to pick up the kill on him. Now, this is the funny part. I essentially have to push the G-Sor corpse and use it as a sort of, you know, piece of cover against this. Because if I don't, I just have to drive through, you know, hundreds of meters of open field against T95s, which isn't always fun. And I eventually end up spotting them both. One of them has the big gun, one of them has the small gun. And this is where, you know, I talked about the IS7 having not the best gun handling in the world. Or, like, gun stats or accuracy or all that good stuff. Of, you know, trying to snipe T95 Cupolas from 200 meters away. Although, admittedly, it should be easy. It was still relatively frustrating. And the T95... Let's see. Where'd he get that lucky pen? Oh, wow. That's interesting. He didn't actually pen the shoulder. He just brute forced. He either got a pixel of the shoulder or just brute forced his way through the side of the tank, which shouldn't technically be possible, but, you know, lucky shot and all that good stuff. So I know, and because of the Leopard bouncing off of me and all that stuff, I know that the Leopard 1 and the ELC are in this bush right over here. Like the bush that, you know, everyone sits at when they're trying to defend this side of the cap. So I'm trying to angle the G-Sor corpse so that it doesn't show any of my hull period, and the T95 can only see my turret. And there you go. I bounce another shot off his side. He's trying to, you know, angle to make it so that the shot is as hard as possible to hit, and that shot goes high and hits the very top of his cupola. And unfortunately, there's still a full health 268v4 and a Striv behind me, which the only thing that's threatening the Striv is the T95 in front of me. That's a one-shot, but it is what it is, I guess. It's still just a matter of killing the T95, which, you know, I don't like T95s or fighting them, really. I think they're really unfun to play and play against. But thankfully, the guys behind me are still doing decent work and, you know, shooting the tanks that I spot and still doing decent damage. It's still just a matter of trying to kill the T95, which not many people know, but below the first large, thick track of the T95 is a piece of armor that is extremely easy to pen for pretty much everything. As long as you have enough pen, obviously, but at least for my gun, which is, I believe, a 128, I can actually overmatch his roof as well, so I'm trying to get a good shot on his roof while also trying to hit that cheesy spot with the tracks. And I pushed this corpse up so unbelievably far. Like, it started out back there, and it's all the way up here. I've pushed it so far that I'm able to actually spot the even 90 and the Leopard from this bush, essentially neutering that bush through this unorthodox play that, you know. And I'm finally able to pick up the kill on the T95, which takes a lot longer than I hoped it would. And now it's up to the second T95. And I'm still trying to just adamantly push the corpse in front to make my shot easier on him. And then the CLC even 90 does something interesting. He chooses to pretty much drive right at me and clip me from behind, there isn't really anything I can do at this moment other than hope he doesn't set me on fire, which, you know, he fuel tanks me first shot, and I want to repair it right away. And he's just sitting behind me. He whiffs the third shot, which, I guess. And then the Striv, thankfully, the guys behind me actually shoot the even 90, which is pretty good. And he ends up dying and only taking 2 shots out of me. The reason I didn't turn around to actually, like, you know, shoot the even 90 and all that was because if I turned around, I gave the T95 and the Leopard the side and back of my turret, and the damage that they would have done to the side and back of my turret is way more than what I would have received from just a clip from an even 90, because I was able to tank a clip from the even 90, and I'm, you know, IS7 accuracy is all that good stuff, fully aimed at the cupola, still missing because T95s are cool and accuracy is cool and all that good stuff. And, you know, still not being able to pen. Finally, the full health 268 version 4 comes in, and I noticed on the map that the 62A pushed and killed our STA1. So, if he isn't coming back to defend base, he's most definitely looping all the way around to come get us, or he's driving to our cap for whatever reason. But yeah, no, at this point, I also noticed that I'm on my last shell, so I'm thinking, oh, could I get a legit, I think it's called a Faden's medal or something like that, if he chooses to show up. So I want to, at first, confirm that he's 100% not coming back, the way he was last spotted. And after a few seconds, I'm able to confirm that, and the only way he can really get back is looping all the way around towards back the way we were fighting the whole time, which is probably what he was doing, because when he killed the SDA, I was still on that G-Sword corpse and still trying to kill this one T95 over here, but, you know, and we end up capping out, and he never actually appears again, but, man, having double T95 to try and push on this corner was so unbelievably difficult, because T95s are very, very fun to push at frontally, I promise, with not a hint of sarcasm happening. But yeah, the corpse push ended up winning us that game and breaking a double T95, even 90 Leopard 1 camp, among other things. Again, I felt I played that pretty well. I used the corpse to my advantage, and the G-Sword corpse being relatively light was also perfect for that. It gives me a perfect hull down. But yeah, let's go look at the end plates. All right, 6.5k damage, 2.2 assisted. That's what, 8.7k combined, because I had some blind spotting, I guess. Um, Mastery badge, high caliber, Confederate, steel wall, and decent game overall. Shout out to the Striv for hitting those shots on those T95s and consistently, you know, being able to pen that. And Leopard had a decent game as well, farming 5.8 when, you know, the 705 and the G-Sword were pushing in and all that stuff. But yeah, breaking T95 camp, which is always very fun to break if you've ever played against T95s. But yeah, I still felt, again, I played that pretty well, and the corpse push from this unfortunate G-Sword pretty much helped us win the game, which was very, very nice. But that'll be the end of it. If you guys have any questions about it or about my thought process or anything like that, be sure to leave a comment below, like, comment, subscribe, all that cool YouTube stuff. And yeah, I will probably see you guys later in the next video, obviously.